Part 25. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 241. The traitor Sci-fi died, killed by the tank left behind on the spaceship pulling out the tube. In the original plot, Sci-fi would rush back to the Nebuchadnezzar after this operation. He first attacked the remaining tank and doser and took control of the spaceship. Then he had a long argument with Trinity. And he killed Suwiki and Abo by pulling out the tube. Finally, he was killed by the seriously injured tank. In the secret realm of the Matrix, a person's spirit or soul needs to be connected to the mother body with a catheter. When a person's soul is still in the mother body, once the tube is pulled out, it is equivalent to cutting off the connection between the soul and the body, and the person will die instantly. This technology is quite high-end. This is the real introduction of human souls into the game world. Even in the Magic Planet game, this technology has not been realized. It can only be used to calculate the game world for players through information transmission. Xiaoming also doesn't know what the truth is about this technology that separates the soul from the body in a limited way in the reincarnation world of the Matrix. Did they really use technology to temporarily separate a person's soul from the body? Or did they just do it on the surface? In fact, it was the reincarnation space behind that controlled people's life and death. If it was the former, Xiaoming would have to think about how to learn this technology. This time, Sci-fi failed to reproduce his original glory. Since Xiaoming had already reminded Morpheus. So Morpheus also paid special attention to Sci-fi's actions. He did find it suspicious. Therefore, before this large-scale operation, Morpheus specifically instructed the remaining tanks to pay close attention to Sci-fi's behavior. If there was a problem, he could kill first and report later. The overall situation of the human resistance was not optimistic, and Morpheus did not dare to take too much risk. When Sci-fi secretly dialed the number on his mobile phone and threw it into the trash can, Tank could confirm that he was a traitor. Under Morpheus's instructions, Tank pulled out Sci-fi's tube. Sci-fi died. Always died in his hands. Tank was also Sci-fi's natural enemy. After getting rid of the traitor, everyone met the prophet smoothly. Neo got some pointers, and each reincarnationist got something. Xiaoming didn't see what the other reincarnationists got from the prophet. What he got was the force. It can also be called mental power or telekinesis. The last name is very similar to telekinesis, but it is very different in essence. The skill of the force is to use mental power to interfere with the real world. Simple mental power can move objects, complex mental power can change other people's thoughts, and even predict the future. In this way, it is not much different from other power systems. These effects can also be achieved by other power systems. Telekinesis, magic, ninjutsu, etc. can actually do it. It's just that their skills are different and their emphases are not exactly the same. But Xiaoming has just come into contact with the force and has just opened his mind. He knows nothing about the various skills of the force. Now he can barely use mental power to move small objects such as cups. However, Xiaoming deeply feels that the extraordinariness of the force has infinite potential. And once it is integrated with his other power systems, it will definitely produce amazing chemical reactions. Just when Xiaoming was happily imagining the future in his heart, the group was on the street and was suddenly attacked from all sides. Murphy's was shot several times and fell to the ground instantly. The others scattered like birds and beasts. The death of the traitor stimulated computer agent Smith. He launched the most powerful investigation. Finally, he found Murphy's and his group. A sudden attack took down Murphy's in one fell swoop. The others were immediately in danger. There is no doubt that this is the need of the plot. Smith must capture Murphy's. These two guys with the S generation are probably incompatible. Faced with a large number of police blockades and the appearance of multiple computer agents, everyone can only flee separately. 5 temporary reincarnations, 5 plot characters. Just team up one by one. Each reincarnation protects a plot character. The difficulty of protecting different plot characters must be different. Protecting Neo is naturally the most difficult task. Several reincarnations also rushed to take other tasks, each following a plot character, and naturally left Neo to Xiaoming. The pursuers Neo faces are definitely the strongest, but the other reincarnations are not framing Xiaoming. They know that the strength of the leader is the strongest among the few. Instead, they are worried that the leader will snatch the mission from them, so they left the mission with the highest reward empty. We are so sensible, you won't snatch this little bit of leftovers from us, right? As for the danger, this little danger is not worth mentioning to the leader at all. And secretly, these people have some tricks, hoping that the leader will capsize in the gutter. This is unknown. Even if there is, it is just human nature. Xiaoming caught up with Neo with a few leaps, and fled into a building with him. Agents Brown and Jones chased closely. The strongest Smith was responsible for escorting Murphy's and did not participate in the subsequent pursuit. It is difficult to escape the sight of the police on the street, and several characters in the plot ran to crowded places at the same time. The other few people are experienced and ran directly to those places with building clusters. It is easy to escape. Neo was a novice in this regard and rushed into a skyscraper. Although there are many rooms here, it is very suitable for playing hide and seek. However, there are too few exits, so it is easy to be blocked and then caught in the trap. After entering the skyscraper, Xiaoming waved and threw 2 telekinetic bombs, which blew down the door. Countless frightened passers-by desperately ran out of the building through the blasted exits, temporarily blocking the way of the group of police. After pushing and shoving with the frightened crowd for a long time, the police had lost the trace of Neo and Xiaoming. Only Brown and Jones could not be stopped. They just found someone in the building to possess, changed into their own appearance, and quickly chased up. Neo and Xiaoming had to climb the stairs quickly. The 2 computer agents followed closely. When they climbed to the 6th floor, they were stopped by Xiaoming's Special Forces clones. Xiaoming was in the mother body. Although others could not see the telekinetic beast, it was impossible to hide it from the mother body's agents. There was no chance to attack by surprise, but if you want to catch people, you have to get past them first. So the Special Forces and the agents started fighting. Tai Chi can bring peace to the world, Bajiquan can determine the fate of the world. The 2 computer agents were unlucky. The Special Forces Brown met new Tai Chi, the Special Forces Jones met new Bajiquan. For a while, both agents were in a tough fight. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 242. Tajiquan overcomes hardness with softness and controls movement with stillness. It fits Xiaoming's personality very well. Therefore, the Special Forces clone who uses Tajiquan becomes more and more skilled. He exerts 70% of his original strength from 50%. Agent Brown, who fought against him, lost his temper after being beaten. It's not that he was beaten badly, on the contrary, he was not hit at all. But no matter what, he just couldn't break into the clone's defense range, and Brown became more and more upset. Fortunately, he is just a computer program, otherwise he would be so angry that he would vomit blood. Bajiquan is simple and unpretentious, and the force is swift. It is very explosive. The blow is very fierce, even with the initial 50% of the strength, it is enough to kill people. At the beginning, the clone used this technique to beat Agent Jones very miserably. Unfortunately, this boxing style is not in line with Xiaoming's temperament, and the clone always shows mercy at critical moments. It was not intentional, but seeing that the opponent was already beaten badly, he gave up the pursuit. As a result, the opponent had a chance to breathe, so Agent Jones could barely hold on. If the fight continued like this, the two agents would be dead. Bang, 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 the police finally came, and seeing this, they immediately opened fire on the two Special Forces clones. The chakra and telekinesis attached to the clones really couldn't withstand the strong firepower. In a hurry, the Tai Chi clone entangled Agent Brown, and together they faced the concentrated fire of the police, and both died. The Level 8 boxing clone no longer held back, and attacked Agent Jones frantically, and finally after a punch smashed the opponent's heart, he was also shot and killed. It was just that the corner of the eye saw that the two dead computer agents quickly turned into two other faces. And the two policemen also turned into Brown and Jones after a stroke-like twitch. Damn. Die with eyes open. After the two clones disappeared, Lu Xiaoming also saw everything with the help of Yuan. Humph, what the hell? In fact, Morpheus and others had told Xiaoming several times about the indestructible characteristic of the computer agent. But now that he saw it with his own eyes, he was still very upset. You are blatantly cheating. It's hard for Xiaoming to shamelessly say that about others, he himself is the real cheater. At this time, Neo had already returned to reality. The two special forces held the computer agent back, giving Xiaoming and others enough time. The two quickly found a room with a phone and tank, and the others quickly connected the line. Neo retreated. Xiaoming waited for a long time, wanting to see what the result would be when the Special Forces clones fought against the computer agent. Although Xiaoming was a little unhappy, the effect was actually quite good. The two Special Forces clones and the computer agent were evenly matched, and even slightly better. Can you ask for more? The result of their battle was much better than if Xiaoming fought by himself. Xiaoming easily saved Neo and returned to the Nebuchadnezzar. At this time, Abba and Suwiki had also withdrawn. The two temporary reincarnations who covered their retreat both lost their lives on the way. And these two reincarnations also withdrew from this world. It seems that they gave up the next mission. Maybe it was intentional. They must have a self-resurrection stone with a score of 10. It was used in exchange for the success of this mission, and the loss was compensated, so it was not a pity. The score of this mission was enough for them to buy another resurrection stone. In addition, the skills and profit upgrades that had been downloaded were earned in vain. This random invitation mission was very cost-effective for the two of them. If they stayed, it would actually be more cost-effective. But there were no resurrection stones, and the two temporary reincarnations did not dare to take risks. In front of the computer of the Nebuchadnezzar, Xiaoming and several other people watched the show together to see if others could come back. You don't know until you see it, and you will be shocked when you see it. Kraken, you are so powerful, do your family know? Kraken actually drove a mecha warrior in the mother's womb and escaped with Trinity. From time to time, it fired small missiles backwards, blowing up the computer agent who was chasing it. Moreover, the mecha was powerful and quickly took Trinity to the dark. Not long after, the two returned to reality. After returning, Kraken kept complaining about the loss. He was forced to use up the last use right of the summoning mecha scroll. Xiaoming didn't know how to comfort him. The old doesn't go, the new doesn't come. Is it okay to say that? Will he be beaten? The last one is Yujian Guangan Zhaojizhu, and the plot character he chose to protect is Mouse. Mouse should have been the first plot character to die, but this time he successfully survived. This brother Zhaojizhu, relying on the downloaded motorcycle driving skills and a modified motorcycle, managed to escape with Mouse. This buddy is really good. He completed the task without showing off. So far, all 5 plot characters have been rescued by the reincarnation. The main mission of the second stage of the reincarnationists was a great success. They all gained a lot of contribution points. It is better to exchange them for skills immediately on the spaceship than to save them for the last reward. The skills downloaded here are much cheaper than those in the reincarnation space. Mouse took the remaining 3 reincarnationists to exchange skills. The others were discussing how to deal with Morpheus's situation. Xiaoming got the right to download another major skill. Of course, people who can easily deal with 2 computer agents are highly valued and rewarded. This time, Xiaoming chose to download the basic mechanical manufacturing technology. There are actually many skills that can be downloaded, and there are not a few that are suitable for Xiaoming. It's just that Xiaoming rarely likes this technology. Originally, hidden weapons, archaeology, language, hypnosis, and other abilities are also very useful. However, Xiaoming's favorite is still this mechanical manufacturing. He still has the dream of Transformers. And it's even more passionate. There is everything in the reincarnation space. Just now I saw the appearance of a mecha, maybe there will really be Transformers. Don't say it, Xiaoming really guessed it right. Although the Transformers in the reincarnation space are those produced in the United States in the Earth culture, rather than the huge transformable metal robots in the Pangu Star culture that Xiaoming imagined. Because of the same language and the same race, everyone uses the name Transformers, which should be understandable. After the 3 reincarnations downloaded the skills, they received the next task prompt. Mainline Task 3, assist Neo and others to rescue Morpheus, help the Savior awaken. The 3 reincarnations gathered together and whispered. This task seems easy, but it actually contains mysteries. Rescuing Morpheus is easy, it can be done by force. As long as he is not dead, there is a way. But helping the Savior awaken, what kind of task is this? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 243. If there is only a rescue mission, Kraken is willing to give it a try. After all, with Xiaoming's powerful combat power, the chance of success is quite high. But the second mission has too much uncertainty. Help the Savior awaken. Who is the Savior? Is it really Neo? What is awakening? What is considered a true awakening? This kind of mission may not be completed if it is not done well. According to the general routine, awakening occurs at the critical moment of life and death. The protagonist is like a revelation, opening up the Ren and Du meridians, awakening the microcosm, breaking through the gene lock. But now that Xiaoming is here, Xiaoming's strength may make Neo lose the opportunity to awaken. Because no one may bring him a real threat. The agents all went to deal with Xiaoming. And even if he really faces death, he may lose the desire to awaken because of Xiaoming's final guarantee. The leader, Kraken, and Zhao Zhuzhu discussed for a long time, and finally Kraken decided that he didn't want to take the risk. He chose to refuse the main task 3. So the reincarnationist can refuse the main task. This is the first time Xiaoming knows this. His novice task is to stay alive, so he can't refuse, and the space doesn't give this option. After that, Xiaoming became a VIP of the soul space. Under normal circumstances, he has no tasks, so he doesn't know the relevant rules. In principle, only the first main task cannot be refused. From the main task 2, the reincarnationist is allowed to refuse. After completing the main task 1, the reincarnationist is considered to have passed. But if you stop here, you can't get the task score and reward, and you can only be considered to have survived. After completing the main task 2, you can get the minimum score. The more tasks you complete in the future, the higher the score. When Kraken refused the main task 3, the leader and Yujian Guangan Zhao Zhuzhu, who were invited by him, also lost the right to do this task. The space directly drove people away, and Kraken and Zhao Zhuzhu immediately left the world of the Matrix. Xiaoming thought about it and used an E-level task card. He got a 5-day stay in this world. E-level mission card, as the name implies, can give the reincarnation a random E-level mission. And because Xiaoming is a VIP, he does not need to do the mission, so he will only get the corresponding stay time of the mission. The reincarnations refused the mission, and the space arranged for this. These crew members were urgently recalled by Zion. Military orders are like mountains, and they have to go. Neo, Trinity and others have no right to stop them. Xiaoming took advantage of the situation and drove away a small airship on the Nebuchadnezzar. Follow the instructions on the map in the computer and return to Zion. Mainline Mission 3, if Xiaoming is interested, he can also play with it. But Xiaoming didn't want to care about it, he wanted to go to the rebels' lair Zion, to try his luck. On the Nebuchadnezzar, you can download so many awesome skills. There must be more and better things in the rebels' lair. Xiaoming, with a yearning for the future, drove the airship to Zion. Along the way, he was still thinking about Kraken, the local tyrant. This person is very strange. Not to mention his particularly polite way of speaking. No matter how you look at it, he doesn't seem to need to ask anyone to do the task together. His strength is already good. He can summon mechas, and ordinary low-level worlds are not difficult for him. Why does he randomly invite reincarnations? Could it be that the world of the Matrix really attracts him so much? That's too much of a risk. And if that's the case, he shouldn't give up the last main task. It's really hard to guess what the rich think. Two flowers bloom, each with its own beauty. In the past few days, Yin Xiaoming controlled Xiaohe and took Xiaohong and Xiaolu to wander around the ruined earth. Mainly picking up things, a lot of scrap machinery was stuffed into Guangmingding. But Xiaoming didn't dare to repair it in this world. Xiaoming was afraid that once the machinery was repaired, it would be directly discovered by the mechanical empire, or even controlled. This risk is not worth taking. Let's wait until we leave the world of the Matrix. He successfully cultivated 2 Chimera aliens. The raw materials used were the various corpses that Xiaoming collected on Nuwa Star. Xiaohe ate the corpses of 2 Minotaurs and 7 Ratmen to gather enough genetic information. He spat out the first chimeric alien egg. When the eldest child was hatched and grew up, he was a Minotaurs with a pair of mouse ears, 80% of his body was covered with black alien armor, and there was a long alien tail. Later, the second child was a lizard man with bat wings. There were still about 80% of the alien black armor and the alien long tail. It seems that the genetic genes of the alien are piled on the exoskeleton armor and tail. In addition, the eldest and the second child also retained the ejectable inner molars. As soon as they became adults, they had the strength of the primary level 3. Xiaoming also specially helped them awaken their telekinesis. The eldest child's telekinesis is the strengthening system, and the second child's is the release system. They are still studying hard. When their telekinesis is a little successful, they can roughly reach the intermediate level of the 3rd level. They will almost catch up with Xiaohong and Xiaolu. At that time, Yin Xiaoming wanted to test whether Xiaohe had his own telekinesis. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Xiaohe is Xiaoming's clone, he is equivalent to a part of Xiaoming. Xiaoming's telekinesis is Xiaohe's telekinesis. On the contrary, the alien children are relatively independent. That's why they each have their own independent telekinesis ability. There is another thing worth regretting. Xiaoming's other wishful thinking was shattered. Xiaoming has always felt that in this wasteland-like world, there must be some strange creatures that survived. Maybe there are creatures that have mutated due to radiation. If they can be found, there should be a chance to breed a very special chimera. Unfortunately, Xiaoming searched for a long time but couldn't find it. It was all in vain. However, during this period, Xiaoming learned to fly. Although walking is possible, the road conditions here are too bad. You always need to climb high and lie low. Xiaoming simply used hot-blooded Neza to transform into 2 large wings to fly forward. In fact, it was not Xiaoming who learned to fly, but Mao Moer who controlled hot-blooded Neza. As an artificial intelligence, Mao Moer learns to fly easier than Xiaoming. He is also much more skilled in controlling wings than Xiaoming. In addition, the two of them are in tune with each other and rarely make mistakes in coordination. The dream of flying has become a reality. And soon he was shot at the head of the tree. You should know that the sky in the world of the Matrix is ruled by the mechanical octopuses of the Mechanical Empire. In the past, when Yin Xiaoming walked on the ground, because Xiahe was a mind beast, it was not easy for the mechanical octopuses to find him. But he couldn't be too arrogant. Now he is flying in the sky in a big way, can he still expect others not to see him? Fortunately, Xiaoming's circle is wide enough. When he noticed that there were more than a dozen mechanical octopuses flying towards him 1 kilometer away, Xiaoming immediately landed and became invisible. At least he was not caught red-handed. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 244. In order to avoid the mechanical octopuses that often appear in the sky, Yin Xiaoming took Xiaohong, Xiaolu, the eldest and the second, and went into the interior of the city ruins. The city ruins of the Matrix are quite unique. Originally, they were three-dimensional reinforced concrete communities including underground, ground, and high-rise buildings. Then there were countless mechanical waste debris left over from the war. It became a more complex mesh structure. It is somewhat similar to the huge and complex underground cave system that Xiaoming encountered on Nuwa Star. Here, the advantages of the mechanical octopus were reduced by more than half. Because the underground structure is too complicated and too large, the mechanical octopuses cannot gather into a large force to act. Otherwise, it is easy to cause traffic jams or even crashes. There will be many places that cannot be taken care of. So the mechanical octopuses must be dispersed into small teams, and sometimes even act alone. In terms of data, the mechanical octopus is at best a second-level intermediate soldier. If the number is insufficient, it is really incapable of facing the 5 third-level soldiers of Xiaohong, Xiaolu, the eldest, the second, and Xiahe. If they use telekinesis, they are all level 4 or above. It is effortless to destroy 1 or 2 robot octopus teams. This robot octopus seems powerful, but it is full of flaws. Xiaoming really can't stand it. He wants to give suggestions to the Mechanical Empire. First of all, the power system is single. It only relies on electromagnetic force as an energy source. Once it is attacked by electromagnetic pulse EMP, it will be scrapped immediately. Xiaoming developed a new type of telekinesis bomb, small EMP bomb, very appropriately. The attack range is only 20-30 meters in diameter. Fighting the robot octopus in guerrilla warfare is as easy as slapping a fly. Why not equip each robot octopus with electromagnetic protection? Or prepare 2 operating systems. If it is too wasteful, at least 2 different robot octopuses can be made. The other uses other energy systems. In this way, the overall combat effectiveness will not be destroyed by an EMP bomb. Shouldn't artificial intelligence be very smart? Does the mother body do it on purpose? Secondly, the robot octopus has a single means of attack. The robot octopus has more than 10 tentacles. Why are they all melee mechanical claws? It would be nice to have some medium and long-range weapons. This configuration makes Xiaoming suspect that the mother body is intentional and is lenient, fearing that the human resistance will be wiped out. Finally, there are too many and single types of soldiers. Xiaoming has never seen other types of mechanical soldiers except the robot octopus. How poor is the creativity of this mother body? Even if it is copied from human history, it would not have only created this type of mechanical soldier. The world created by the reincarnation space is really not real enough. The imagination of Qingxinglu is limited to this. Xiaoming silently complained in his heart. Qingxinglu and the reincarnation space collectively said that we don't take the blame, This is the fault of the director and screenwriter. Qingxinglu actually does not participate in the production process of the reincarnation world. It is not qualified to take the blame. The reincarnation space is just taking the script and completing it to a limited extent. There is no intention to fix all the bugs in the script. There is no point in doing so. It is not the real purpose of the reincarnation space. Where did the script come from? We are not sure yet. But we all know its source. It is all kinds of imaginative works in the Earth world. The reincarnation world materializes it and makes appropriate modifications or adjustments. Since it is a human work, it is inevitable that there will be some bugs, and even some logical flaws. It is normal. Xiaoming is not familiar with the reincarnation space yet. When he sees more in the future, he will not be surprised. After several days of guerrilla warfare, there are more than 200 machine octopuses destroyed by the 3 alien groups. The machine empire still did not make any special response, neither increasing nor reducing the patrol intensity here. Everything is the same as before, as if the loss caused by Xiaoming did not attract the attention of the mother body at all. In fact, at this time, it happened that the protagonist Neo rescued Morpheus, fought Smith, died, and then awakened to become the savior. At such a critical time, the mother body certainly had no time to deal with the little thing that Yin Xiaoming made. It is not really appropriate to use the term matrix here. The matrix refers to the virtual world created by the mechanical empire. The real mastermind behind the scenes is the architect. It's just that Xiaoming didn't know there was such a super intelligent body, so he always regarded the matrix as the head of the mechanical empire. You don't take me seriously? It couldn't be better, Xiaoming thought happily. If it were someone else, he would definitely feel that the matrix was insulting him. He had to paint the wall with feces. Xiaoming was completely the opposite. It's best if the other party doesn't care, so he can do whatever he wants. The telekinesis of the alien children has made some progress in the training and fighting in the past few days. The eldest, the mouse-eared bull-headed alien, has cultivated the telekinesis ability XX. The feature is purely strong attack power. In addition, the 2 axes are connected by a telekinetic iron chain. When needed, you can throw one out for a medium-range attack and retract it. Or use one of the axes as a flying claw. Throw it out and fix it somewhere, and use it to climb or swing. In a complex and ever-changing environment like a city ruin, it is surprisingly practical. The second one is the bat-winged lizard alien. He has mastered the bow and arrow. He positions himself as a high-altitude long-range soldier. He also performs well in close combat. The second child is very powerful. He can hold the eldest and the little black at the same time and fly for hours without any problem. When the second child was developing his mind ability, Yin Xiaoming also gave suggestions. He hoped that the second child would develop heavy firepower like a machine gun. But this child is very stubborn and has a paranoid hobby of bows and arrows. It is probably related to the genes of the lizardmen. In the magic planet, almost all lizardmen are archers. So it is not surprising that they have obsessions. Alas, the children are grown up, and it is not easy for parents to manage them. Yin Xiaoming can only continue to explore the ruins with the 2 children. Not to mention, at the bottom of the ruins, Yin Xiaoming really found something good. The concept of energy weapons. Xiaoming found a USB flash drive in a place that looks like a laboratory. And the hot-blooded Neza can read it? The result is such a research report. The full text is no less than several million words, very detailed. Of course, Xiaoming asked Mao Mao to copy a copy without hesitation. Then put the report into Guangmingding. On the other side, Lu Xiaoming, who had already arrived in Zion, took out the report and presented it to the top leaders of the resistance army. This caused a huge sensation. The exoskeleton mecha currently in service with the resistance army still uses metal bullets. Not only is it difficult to make, but it also needs to be reloaded frequently. And the mecha is very fragile when reloading. If it can use energy weapons, it will be completely different. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 245. Energy weapons have many advantages. First, they can save a lot of metal for making ammunition. Second, if the compression technology is in place, the frequency of replacing energy blocks will be much lower than the frequency of replacing bullets. Third, if there is a breakthrough in technology, cold weapon type energy weapons can also be made, so that the combat effectiveness of mechas will be greatly improved. The rebels in the Matrix are not stupid, how could they not think of this direction? But even if they think of it, what's the use? Because the biggest problem is, there are no resources. As we all know, developing a whole set of new technologies requires a lot of manpower and material resources. Only long-term testing can be successful. The current situation of the rebels is too bad. Under the heavy pressure of the mechanical empire, Zion is just barely surviving and fighting. Where do so many resources come from? Where is the time for testing? What Lu Xiaoming offered completely solved this problem. Because it is a very mature research result. The report concept of energy weapons has a comprehensive design and very detailed research data. The report, which is several million words long, takes care of every detail of the production, storage, transportation, and application of the new energy. It also includes a variety of successfully tested energy weapon drawings. There are even drawings of corresponding mechas. Basically, all the problems faced by Zion have been solved. Just put it into production. This is too convenient. According to the report, this new type of energy had actually been studied before the war between humans and machines. It was further improved during the war. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by the machine empire when it was about to be put into production. All those who knew about the plan were killed. All the research data were also destroyed. Of course, destroying the data is what humans do, and even if it is destroyed, the machine empire cannot get these data. Unfortunately, one of the research data was still obtained by an artificial intelligence. Fortunately, this artificial intelligence, like the prophet, is more sympathetic to humans. So he secretly hid the data. Until today, Xiaoming found it from the ruins through his telepathic ability Yuan. In fact, this is Xiaoming's reward for killing a large number of machine octopuses. It's hard for the reincarnation space. For the rationality of this report, so many stories need to be made up. It is estimated that there must be hidden plots in it. If it is excavated, Xiaoming still can't get the normal task reward, but can only get source energy. There is no motivation to say. Xiaoming, who submitted the report, did not get Zion's reward immediately. Instead, he was allowed to join the manufacturing of new mechas. Thanks to Xiaoming's source energy, Zion was able to produce the first test mecha Rebel 1.0 before Xiaoming's stay was about to end. And Xiaoming also accumulated enough contribution points and obtained the ownership of Rebel 1.0. When leaving the world of the Matrix 1, Xiaoming installed this mecha into the Bright Summit and took it out of the reincarnation world. To be honest, if Xiaoming hadn't used a lot of dual source energy, this test mecha would not be built in a month. The first difficulty is energy. To obtain the energy in the report, you need a special rare mineral in the world of the Matrix. This mineral, combined with some simple machinery, can generate a large amount of clean and efficient energy that is easy to carry. In other words, this is actually a golden finger specially made by the reincarnation space for this world. Even if the reincarnation knows all the production methods, it cannot be reproduced when returning to reality. Because the most critical raw materials are missing. Without this mineral, there is no such energy. Without this energy, the mecha and weapons are all illusions. It can't be made at all, and there will be no good thing that it can be used by changing another energy source. Of course, this can only stump other reincarnations. Xiaoming is fully capable of making that kind of mineral and energy by himself. It's just that it consumes superpowers. Xion can't find enough minerals to start work in the short term. Green Xiaoming has no choice but to find excuses to take out enough minerals. Although the top leaders of the resistance army are a little confused, they will not think that William will be a traitor because of this, they just think he is lucky enough. If it was a traitor from the Mechanical Empire, how could he come up with so many dry goods to enhance Xion's strength? With the minerals provided by Xiaoming, the resistance army produced the first batch of energy. But when it came to making mechas, things didn't go smoothly again. Xion's mechanical manufacturing level is really poor. This is probably because the human resistance army has been destroyed and recreated too many times. Every time it is destroyed and rebuilt, the resistance army's various technical levels will regress greatly. Many advanced technologies will be lost. Today, even some precision mecha parts are difficult to manufacture. It's not that they can't be made at all, but it takes a lot of time to make them. But what Xiaoming lacks is time. There is no way, Xiaoming had to do it himself again, using source energy to strengthen the rough and unqualified parts into qualified parts. Finally, the first test mecha was made in time. Xiaoming was almost tired to tears. Strengthening parts is still labor-saving, but making that kind of rare mineral out of thin air is too energy-consuming. So much so that Xiaoming, who has dual source energy, almost couldn't bear it. Fortunately, Xiaoming is more flexible and soon found a more suitable way. That is to strengthen the existing minerals. As long as the minerals are formed by elements with higher atomic weight than iron, Xiaoming can use his superpowers to strengthen them into this special mineral. The larger the atomic weight and the stronger the radioactivity of the mineral, the easier it is to strengthen. Since this special mineral is produced in the world of the Matrix, let's name it hacker ore. The principle of converting hacker ore into energy is equivalent to nuclear fission. There is a highly efficient conversion device. Put hacker ore in the inlet, turn on the power, rumble, rumble. After a conversion that no one can explain clearly, pure silver energy blocks will be produced, with output ports of various types of energy. In addition, some iron-containing compound byproducts will be produced. These byproducts can also be used to make steel. And if Xiaoming has the opportunity to enter the Matrix again, he can upgrade this technology after accumulating enough credits. The waste produced can be adjusted to get fewer energy blocks, so that the byproducts produced can be turned into compounds of other metals. For example, gold, silver, platinum, etc. It's not that Xiaoming doesn't want to get this technology this time, but all his contribution points are used to exchange for mechas. He really has no money in his pocket. To be honest, this TM is not high-tech at all, it is purely black technology, magic, and BT. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 246. 4 categories of skills: energy weapon technology, energy ore, test mecha. Green Xiaoming's gains from the resistance army can be said to be appalling. Who would have thought that Silver Xiaoming's gains were not inferior, or even better? Silver Xiaoming wore purple vine armor, carried 100 ghosts box on his back, and led 4 subordinates, Xiaohong, Xiaolu, the eldest and the second, to kill people in the ruins of the city. When he was proud, Yin Xiaoming, for some reason, launched the undead magic, Death Harvest, against the entire city ruins. This happened 3 days before Xiaoming left. Harvesting this city consumed a lot of mana. Xiaoming's magic blue bar was emptied and filled, emptied again, and filled again, repeatedly. If it weren't for the double source energy to supplement, Xiaoming couldn't cast this spell completely, and he might suffer a little backlash. This was originally a large city with a population of several million. Machines and humans have been fighting for nearly 200 years, and there are many humans buried in the ruins. Moreover, this world has no underworld, no heaven or hell, and no 6 reincarnations. There is no place for any human soul to go after death. I don't know whether the reincarnation space is not equipped for this world, or the original place of soul has been settled by the mother body. In short, after the death of humans here, they all become lonely ghosts. Time flies, and most of them have dissipated with the passage of time. There are also many who are also in deep sleep, and they will slowly pass away as time flies. After Xiaoming's death harvest, countless undead soldiers were awakened. Unfortunately, a large number of them are skeleton soldiers and zombies, and they are all buried deep underground in the ruins. Most of the places below have no roads, and 99% of the skeleton soldiers and zombies can't climb up at all. Although a few have the opportunity to climb up, there are gullies and ravines below, and the roads are complicated. These guys may have to climb for several months. Xiaoming didn't let them climb out. These undead soldiers are destined to be unable to be taken away by Xiaoming. Let them settle down in the ruins of the city. Many years later, maybe they will form another force. I wonder what the reaction of humans and the mechanical empire will be when they see the kingdom of the dead. It's interesting to think about it. Of course, not all of them can't come out, there are still thousands of ghosts. They have no entity, and soon, they floated up directly. Xiaoming also knew his current limit. The number of ghosts he can control is about 249. Why is it about 249? Chinese people understand. He can't command more. In the words of the game, his command ability is limited. The total number of undead that can be controlled is just like this. But Xiaoming can't use all ghosts. Other arms must also be available, and they are more commonly used. So he only kept a few dozen good ghosts. They were all put into the 100 ghost box to make up the number of 100 ghosts. The 100 ghost box can only hold 100 ghosts at most. Before coming to the Matrix, there were also dozens of ghosts in the 100 ghost box. The earliest one was Xiaohong, who was the actual controller of the 100 ghost box. Xiaoming's own Taoism is not enough to bring out the power of the 100 ghosts box. It is better to use it indirectly through Xiaohong. So the 100 ghosts box is temporarily handed over to Xiaohong for safekeeping. Or Xiaohong is the big sister of the 100 ghosts box for the time being. In the future, the 100 ghosts box is expected to become Xiaohong's life magic weapon. This depends on Xiaohong's growth rate. Later, there were more residents one after another, such as Ghost Matt, who moved into the 100 ghosts box. In the world of a Chinese ghost story, Xiaoming also killed a lot of people, some of whom were also taken in by Xiaohong. The last battle in the underground cave of Nuwa Star, when the possessed Minotaur was in the battle, there were many people and many compatriots on the battlefield, and Xiaoming did not use Xiaohong and the 100 ghosts box. But later, Xiaoming secretly captured many enemy orc wounded soldiers and put them in Guangmingding. Later, these wounded soldiers died one after another. One was parasitized as an alien warrior, some were eaten by Xiaohe, and some died of serious injuries. Now they are basically dead, only 2 or 3 orcs are still alive, being teased by Xiaohong and Xiaolu. Some people may ask, Xiaoming eats so many raw beasts, eating raw meat and drinking blood, isn't it particularly disgusting? The amazing thing is, it really isn't. Because Xiaohe is a mind beast, there is no digestive organ in his body. So when Xiaohe eats the orc corpses, Xiaoming just needs to close his eyes and not look. There is no other feeling in his body except biting. Therefore, Xiaoming really doesn't feel particularly disgusting. Out of sight, out of mind. The dozens of orcs who died also contributed a dozen orc ghosts, which were collected by Xiaohong into the 100 Ghosts box. Now, with the dozens of ghosts harvested here, the 100 ghosts are all together. 100 ghosts are enough, and Xiaoming doesn't want to put the others into Guangmingding, too many will waste the spiritual energy inside. In fact, the 100 ghosts box of Grandma is not used in this way by Xiaoming. The biggest function of the 100 ghosts box is to subdue. Put the wandering ghosts in, and after being tempered by the 100 ghosts box, turn them into obedient ghosts. Then train them up little by little. Train them into high-level ghosts such as ghost soldiers, ghost generals, and ghost commanders. Grandma mainly uses it to turn wandering ghosts into her subordinates, and then train them into ghost soldiers. Training ghost generals requires more yin qi, and Grandma is reluctant to do so. She only trained a few such as Xiao Qian. Let the others practice on their own. But Xiaoming does not need to subdue them. Once a death harvest is done, all the summoned undead soldiers are obedient. So Xiaoming only needs to cultivate this function. Most of the ghosts produced by the death harvest are level 1, and there are very few level 2 or above. Xiaoming has a great harvest this time. Except for Xiaohong, the ghosts in the 100 ghost box are all level 2 or so. That is to say, they all have the strength of ghost soldiers. In the reincarnation space, their combat power is above level E. If Xiaoming does not use various supernatural powers, he is less than level 2, and is barely an E-level reincarnation. Xiaohong is a level 3 primary ghost general. In the reincarnation space, it can be regarded as the D-level primary strength. In the reincarnation space, the inferior F level corresponds to ordinary people, which is roughly the level 0 soldiers in the game. Level E corresponds to level 1-2 soldiers, level D corresponds to level 3-4 soldiers, level C corresponds to level 5 soldiers, level B corresponds to level 6 soldiers. This is a general situation, and it cannot be generalized. Just looking at the data, Xiaoming is barely level E. But if Xiaoming uses all his supernatural powers, he can at least have a D-level combat capability. In special cases, even if it is a C-level 5th order soldier, Xiaoming is also capable of killing him. Of course, this is more difficult. It really must be a special case. The opponent cannot fight quickly and will be killed by Xiaoming's sea of undead. For example, now, thousands of ghosts are wandering in the ruins. If a 5th order soldier comes, it will definitely not end well. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 247. This time, the harvest of the city ruins was too crazy. It almost squeezed Xiaoming dry, but also harvested extremely rich fruits. In addition to tens of thousands of undead soldiers, Xiaoming also harvested a breath of death that was overwhelming. The dense breath of death was like a fog, covering the entire city ruins. But ordinary people can't see it. What a waste of nature. Xiao Hei's body can only hold a little bit. Xiao Hong also absorbed a little bit, feeling that there was basically no difference between the breath of death and the yin qi, and she could use it for cultivation. But she couldn't absorb too much. The 100 ghosts box really held a lot of breath of death. Enough for the 100 ghosts inside to eat for hundreds of years. Of course, the 100 ghosts box does not just feed the 100 ghosts, it will also slowly strengthen the 100 ghosts with yin qi. But even so, the yin qi it absorbs is enough to consume nearly 100 years. And the breath of death absorbed by the three of them combined is less than 1/10,000th of the total. A large amount of breath of death is still wandering in the ruins. But it's good that way. Xiaoming can't take away the tens of thousands of undead soldiers here. Who knows when he will come next time? With these death breaths, they can be fed for a while. It's hard to imagine what these undead will develop into in the future. At this time, Green Xiaoming happened to have a new discovery. Xiaoming can use source energy to convert other minerals into hacker ores. This also opened up Silver Xiaoming's mind. Minerals can be converted in this way, saving a lot of source energy. So can other things be converted? Silver Xiaoming tried to use source energy to change the nature of the death breath, and it really can be converted from yin qi to spiritual energy. Needless to say, the source energy consumed in this way is much more economical than using source energy directly to create spiritual energy. Only about 1/5 of the original source energy is enough. After discovering this method, Xiaoming seized the remaining time to convert part of the death breath wandering in the air into spiritual energy and put it into Guangmingding. When Xiaoming was about to leave the world of the matrix, the spiritual energy in Guangmingding was so full that it was about to turn into liquid. Almost with the naked eye, you can see the spiritual liquid flowing in the space. If this is seen by a cultivator, he will definitely think that Xiaoming's bright summit is some top-level paradise. The greedy ones will have to grab it. This is too cool. Xiaoming is also very excited about this discovery. But he also regrets it. If he had known this earlier, he could convert common energy such as electrical energy and thermal energy in reality into the energy he needs. For example, mana, telekinesis, chakra, etc. Thinking of it, he did it, and Green Xiaoming quickly tested this idea in Zion. The result is, haha, it's a beautiful idea. The conversion can indeed be converted, but the source energy consumed exceeds expectations, which is not cost-effective. It is estimated that the level of electrical energy and thermal energy is still a bit low. Not very suitable. But there are suitable ones. The silver energy block converted from the hacker ore is very good. This thing can be converted into almost any energy. If it is converted into low-level energy such as electrical energy and thermal energy, Xiaoming's superpowers are not needed at all. When the energy block is produced, it automatically has various output devices. It can be easily converted into electrical energy, heat energy, light energy, mechanical energy, etc. Only when it is converted into supernatural energy such as magic power, it is necessary to consume a little of Xiaoming's source energy. It seems that Xiaoming needs to produce a batch of energy blocks in the future. Carrying a few blocks on his body will give him unlimited magic power. And the same is true in reverse. Xiaoming tried to convert telekinesis and mana into electrical energy, but it was just a snap of a finger. It seems that basically no source energy was used. There is nothing wrong with this. There is already lightning magic in the game, and telekinesis also has a transformation system. It is normal to be able to convert. On this ruins, Xiaoming learned to discharge electricity, emit light, heat, chill, blow air, sound waves, without a teacher. Xiaoming can convert all his supernatural energy into electricity, light, high temperature, low temperature, airflow, sound, and then send it out in one direction. Two source energies, magic power, telekinesis, chakra, spiritual power, and even the original force can be converted in this way. Although the amount of each conversion is relatively limited, that is, the upper limit of the attack power is not high. But it is also a very powerful skill. Its attack power far exceeds that of the telekinetic ability of the bullet, Xiaoming's fist, etc. several times. It seems to be a matter of course, but it is really not that easy. Xiaoming can do this today, not just a matter of inspiration. It is because he has been familiar with the conversion of various energies for a long time. And he himself has the highest level of source energy. Don't forget that in the world of the Matrix, the Prophet improved Xiaoming's original force. Although it is only a little improvement, it has the effect of turning stone into gold and becomes the key to truly unlock Xiaoming's mental power. When he was young, Xiaoming thought that his superpower was mental power. After contacting the Magic Planet game on June 6, he realized that it was not. Later, the magic, telekinesis, etc. he learned were directly related to mental power, but none of them was pure mental power. Until entering the world of the Matrix and entering the Matrix. It was in the Matrix that Xiaoming truly understood what spiritual power felt like, and the Prophet's improvement of Xiaoming was the finishing touch. Xiaoming's understanding of various power systems was thus raised to a higher level. All these accumulations have made Xiaoming achieve what he has today. He can easily come up with such practical skills. He has gone from being an ordinary user to a user of fancy operations, and today he has finally become a creator. Although he is still very immature. But he has truly entered a new realm. When he was young, Zhang Xiaoming was a person who had a treasure in his hand but could not use it. He has had source energy, superpowers, for more than 30 years, but he only uses source energy at the simplest level. It is only used to strengthen items and only for emergencies. Because the upper limit of source energy is too small and the number of times it can be used is also small. This has caused Xiaoming to basically not dare to use it. Cautious use has also caused the total amount of source energy to grow very slowly. In his 30s, Xiaoming's source energy upper limit has not increased much. At this time, he was very lucky to encounter the black technology game, Magic Planet. Before this, no game had ever been able to accept Xiaoming's source energy. Magic Planet not only accepted it, but also indirectly promoted the growth of Xiaoming's source energy. Because in the game, every time you use source energy, the amount consumed is reduced exponentially, so the number of times you can use it is also increased exponentially. Frequent use makes Xiaoming's source energy limit begin to grow steadily. With the increase in the total amount, Xiaoming can use source energy more frequently. More frequent use promotes Xiaoming's source energy to grow faster. It forms a positive snowball. This is the reason why you should keep your fists in your hands and your songs in your mouth. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 248. If we talk about the Magic Planet game, it has become the key to Xiaoming's enlightenment of superpowers. Then the reincarnation space allowed Xiaoming's superpower to enter the school. Although I have only taken 2 classes for the time being. But both lessons are important. When Xiaoming entered the reincarnation space for the first time, he was lucky enough to exchange source energy seeds with each other in the reincarnation space/Qianxin Tower. At this time, Xiaoming realized that his superpower was called source energy. And source energy must be something very powerful. Otherwise, the reincarnation space will not respect you as a distinguished guest, nor will it exchange source energy seeds with you so solemnly. Xiaoming doesn't think he will be a descendant of the bloodline of ancient gods and demons. What is really special is the superpower, source energy. But Xiaoming didn't dare to speculate too much, he just thought it should be something pretty cool. It may not be inferior to the so-called bloodline of gods and demons. With the use of dual source energy, Xiaoming feels more and more the wonder of source energy. As long as there are enough, is there anything that the source can't do? The wheel of history has finally reached the second lesson of the reincarnation space. The Prophet in the Matrix enhances Xiaoming's mental power. With the repeated transformation of various substances and energies, Xiaoming had an enlightenment. A feeling that no one could prove to him, but which he himself had somehow confirmed by insisting on his own way. If source energy continues to develop, it can create the entire world. Countless worlds can even be created. Source energy is the power of creation. In fact, Xiaoming has discussed many times with the super artificial intelligence nine-tailed fox about his own superpowers. According to the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy of the entire universe is constantly increasing. But Xiaoming's source energy was able to create energy out of thin air, and even create matter out of thin air, resulting in a reduction in entropy. This is inconsistent with the principles of thermodynamics. It stands to reason that if the entropy here in Xiaoming decreases, then the entropy must increase somewhere in the outside world. The amount of increase should exceed the amount of decrease here. So the entropy of the entire universe is still increasing. Almost all human activities are based on this principle. The same goes for the universe. Even supernatural forces follow this pattern. Therefore, the nine-tailed fox is very interested in Xiaoming's superpower phenomenon and has made very detailed observations. He even stuffed a descendant or clone, Mao Mao, into Xiaoming's body. Thoroughly record all Xiaoming's data. But the final conclusion is that entropy has indeed decreased. The source energy that Xiaoming used to create energy and matter out of thin air was not obtained from food, nor was it absorbed from the air, nor was dark matter or dark energy used. Unless there is some energy source in the universe that even the nine-tailed fox doesn't know about, Xiaoming's source energy appears out of thin air. This is pretty much what Christianity calls God's ability to create the world. Of course, neither Xiaoming nor Zhuohui thought this was the case. So when they were idle and bored, they also made a lot of guesses. The first conjecture, Xiaoming itself is a door or a hole. There are black holes, white holes, and wormholes in the universe, and there are more personal holes. The function of this man cave is to transport energy from somewhere in this universe, or from some other universe, to the universe where people are located. Since the other side of the hole is far away, the nine-tailed fox cannot observe it at all, so it is considered that the entropy has decreased. But this kind of conjecture can only be a wild guess. The characteristics of science require bold assumptions and careful verification. Only conjectures that have been truly proven can have a certain degree of credibility. But there can never be 100% absolutely correct conjectures and theories. Because as long as a real counterexample appears, this conjecture can be overturned. No matter how rigorous the scientists prove it. And since what humans know and see is very limited, we don't know when such counterexamples will appear. At least neither the scientists from Pangu Planet nor the scientists from Nine-Tailed Fox's original civilization felt that they had mastered the absolute truth of the universe. When there are so many phenomena in the universe that cannot be explained, it is such a shame to think that you have mastered the absolute truth. Xiaoming is a man cave. This can only be a wild guess, and it cannot be confirmed for the time being. Another kind of wild guess, some scientists once proposed that the universe is like twins, appearing in pairs. The entropy of one universe is increasing and the entropy of the other universe is decreasing. If the two universes are equal, then there is harmony. Xiaoming may be connected to the universe with decreasing entropy, even that universe, or part of that universe, is within Xiaoming's body. There is actually no difference between these possibilities. And it still can't be proven. There is also a more reliable guess, Xiaoming may have obtained some kind of innate magic weapon that is often mentioned in immortality novels. Or something like that. This magic weapon stored huge amounts of energy at the beginning of the universe or even before it was created. But if no one uses it, it probably won't release that energy. The legendary Tai Chi diagram, Pangu flag, Chaos bell, etc. are all of this type. The Infinity Stones in Marvel seem to be of this type. But Xiaoming didn't know about Marvel, so he didn't think about it in this regard. But this is just a legend. It may also be that Xiaoming accidentally integrated something created by some advanced civilization. Xiaoming once felt the cosmic cube, the space stone, one of the Infinity Stones, from a distance in the secret realm of Captain America 1. But come on, that's a game. It's just a simulation. The game system is not capable of creating real space gems in the secret realm. Later, Xiaoming encountered the reincarnation space and exchanged source energy seeds. The nine-tailed fox's speculation has a new direction. The existence of the reincarnation space seems to indicate that Xiaoming's original superpower is a source energy. And it may really be that Xiaoming picked up superpowers at an unknown time and place. It may be that some existence at the same level as the reincarnation space gave it to Xiaoming without his knowledge. It makes sense. But you should include an instruction manual. You gave Xiaoming such a great thing early, but Xiaoming has been kept in the dark. It was wasted until he was over 30 years old before he knew what this thing was. It's not as good as those who give people a system. At least it's easy to use. Xiaoming just thought about it casually. It's too unreasonable for him to complain about someone giving him a golden finger instead of being grateful. No matter where the source energy seed came from, we should always be grateful. It's not just because of the source energy that Xiaoming is now able to thrive. More importantly, in the 30 years before the game, when many years were very difficult, it was the source energy that helped him get through. The source energy also contributed to the healthy growth of my sister Lu Xiaojing. How can I not be grateful? Regarding the laws of thermodynamics, Lazy House only briefly mentioned it. Readers who are interested can search for detailed information by themselves. This book does not need those water words. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 249. With Xiaoming's frequent use of the two source energies, and the analysis carried out by the nine-tailed fox, Xiaoming feels that Yuan Neng seems to have the ability to create the world. The reason is also very simple: it can create matter and energy. Then it should be possible to create a world. But at Xiaoming's current level, he is still far away from creating the world, only the devil knows how far it is. Although Xiaoming encounters many strange encounters, he doesn't think he can achieve even 1/10,000th of it in this life. And he has no interest in creating the world. Simply knowing that he has awesome abilities is enough for Xiaoming, an otaku. It's enough to make him stink when he's fine. As for wanting to stand out and be admired by thousands of people, Xiaoming doesn't have that spare time. At this time, Xiaoming and Nine-Tailed Fox didn't know that the Magic Planet game actually had a deep relationship with source energy. It's just that the two of them are not at the same level, so they are still kept in the dark for the time being. With full joy, Xiaoming exited the Matrix world. Once again, we came to the White Room where all reincarnations will arrive after the mission is over. Just call it the mission settlement space. The time spent by reincarnators in the world of reincarnation is equal to 0 relative to normal time and space. Therefore, a total of 6 temporary reincarnations, including Xiaoming and Kraken, actually appeared in the mission settlement space almost at the same time. After arriving at the settlement space, Xiaoming immediately received the reward from the reincarnation space. Not to mention the score, Xiaoming's score has been locked at 100 points. No matter how many benefits Xiaoming gets in the world of the Matrix, or how high a rating he gets, they will all be converted into source energy. So all the useful rewards were put into Guangmingding by Xiaoming, ready to be secretly transported to Pangu Planet. Including Wisteria Armor, Hyaki Box, Test Mecha, Hacker Ore, a large number of machine wreckage, and machines that use hacker ore to create energy blocks. In addition to the 4 major categories of skills Xiaoming downloaded, the spiritual power improved by the Prophet. Xiaoming didn't have many rewards left this time. Therefore, in Xiaoming's consciousness, the green energy saplings only grew about 7 or 8 centimeters taller. On the contrary, the silver source has grown by about 12 to 13 centimeters. It's a bit surprising. Can even the silver source energy in the reincarnation space help? Could it be said that after receiving Xiaoming's source energy seeds in the reincarnation space, it was cultivated very well so quickly? You can even give some of it to Xiaoming as a gift. It is indeed a reincarnation space. Xiaoming's gains are not only that, but perhaps because of the growth of Yuan Neng, Xiaoming feels that his various abilities have improved a little bit. Maybe some of it is just Xiaoming's illusion. However, Guangmingding has grown from more than 40 cubic meters to about 50 cubic meters. This is very intuitive progress. Next it was time for the reincarnations to interact. First, the Wolf King was the first to disappear from the settlement space. The remaining 5 people exchanged business cards with each other and exchanged a few business words. 2 more people left. Kraken and Yuji and Guanghanzheoji's who are left. Their appearance and characteristics are similar to Xiaoming's. They are all the kind that can't be found in a crowd, and can't remember their faces after seeing them several times. This was nothing. There are too many ordinary-looking people. However, Xiaoming has made great progress in mental strength since the last time we met. This meeting finally gave him some clues. Both men thoroughly disguised their appearance. This disguise is still endorsed by the reincarnation space. In other words, what Xiaoming saw was not what they really looked like at all. Appearance, gender, and even race cannot be determined. How could the reincarnation space, which requires interstellar teleportation across such a long distance, contain only humans from Pangu planet? There must be many aliens among reincarnators. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a hodgepodge of various races in the universe. But in the early days, it was not easy for reincarnators to encounter aliens. Basically they are all local races. What will happen to these 2 people? Monster? Underground people? Martians? Xiaoming received 2 applications to join the team at the same time, one from the 2 in front of him. They all took the initiative to apply to join Xiaoming's Mingjing team. When the reincarnator takes the initiative to apply to join the team, Zhang Xiaoming does not need to pay for the team contract. Both applicants have prepared the team contracts they need to pay. If these 2 people didn't have ulterior motives, Xiaoming would dare to eat Mao Mao. Has anyone seen temporary reincarnations being able to pay for and 8 team contracts? Those are 80 and 160 ratings. Do you want your drama to be so fake? Being able to see through you, Xiaoming doesn't feel any sense of accomplishment. But after thinking about it, Xiaoming finally agreed to their application. There are 2 reasons. First, the other party is quite generous this time and is probably determined to win. If you don't agree, I don't know what trouble will come from it in the future. Xiaoming simply agreed. It would be better to keep these 2 people close for observation. Second, the life energy of these 2 people is very beautiful. The character should be quite good. Xiaoming asked himself that he should be inferior to them in terms of character. There is nothing wrong with putting such people into the team. Although the 2 of them had other agendas, they had no ill intentions towards themselves. Of course, Xiaoming would never admit that accepting them was a gift for the 2 of them. Both of their applications for joining the team come with gifts, and Xiaoming will get the gift as long as he agrees. And this gift will not be swallowed by the reincarnation space. Among them, Kraken's gift is in 2 forms. One is a normal gift package, and the other is a special gift package for accepting Kraken to join the Mingjing team. Even if Xiaoming does not agree to his joining the team, he will still get a normal gift package. That is the reward for inviting Xiaoming to help with the task. Xiaoming opened the 2 gift packages with great interest. Wow! These 2 are so generous. Kraken gave Xiaoming a laser sword. It is the kind of laser sword commonly seen in movies. Is this still human technology? It should be an item obtained from the reincarnation space, right? The gift given by Zhao Zhuzhu is an egg. Zhao Zhuzhu did not clearly say what animal's egg it is. But judging from its vigorous life energy, it should not be an ordinary rare bird or animal. Xiaoming is very puzzled. Do you really have too much money at home and have nowhere to spend it? In order to join my team, this is too hard. Is it worth it? Could it be that they knew that I had source energy? Like Qingxinglu, they came to show their courtesy. This is indeed possible. Just look at these 2 gifts to know. Although the other party did not say it clearly, they did not deliberately deceive Xiaoming. Such a generous gift already shows that the 2 people have extraordinary origins. It's just that the specific origins are not easy to say. In this way, I am afraid that this random invitation task is also a bit deliberately designed. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 250. Kraken and Yujian Guanghan Zhao Zhu, the two newcomers, since they joined the Mingjing team, followed Xiaoming back to the team space. Of course, they couldn't settle down in Xiaoming's Huiguashan like Wen Ji and his sister. Naturally, they each had their own room. Although Xiaoming didn't go in to visit, it is estimated that the furnishings in the rooms of these two local tyrants should not be bad. The two also explained their strengths to the captain. Kraken is a mecha driver, and now he can drive a few relatively simple primary mechas. The appearance is a bit like Iron Man, but the power is far inferior. To be more precise, this type of mecha should be considered an exoskeleton armor. Iron Man is mentioned only for the convenience of the author and readers. Zhang Xiaoming, a native of Pangustar, doesn't know Iron Man. This mecha is just a layer of iron shell on the outside of the human body. Because the driver takes up too much space, the accessories that can be installed are very limited. The various data such as attack power, defense power, endurance, etc. are also very average. It is not as strong as a complete robot. We can't use Iron Man, that guy who cheats, as an analogy. The mechas that Kraken showed to Xiaoming were about the same level as the Rebel 1.0 that Xiaoming got. Some of these mechas were defensive mechas with thicker armor, some were heavy firepower mechas with 2 machine guns. There were also those that flew in the sky, those that swam in the water, those that were in outer space. Kraken was actually a versatile person. As far as Xiaoming knew, even the new Han Kingdom didn't have so many types of exoskeleton mechas that were so comprehensive. If this Kraken wasn't an alien, he was probably a noble son from the reincarnation space. Such a person actually came to him and didn't hesitate to bribe him. It was also strange. Yujian Guanggan Zhao who was a character with a rather ancient style. Hearing Xiaoming say that he wanted to try a move, he immediately clasped his hands together and saluted, "Please teach me." He still held the scabbard in his right hand. The Xingyi Iquan Special Forces soldier jumped out of Xiaoming's body, and came to Zhao Zhu and saluted. The two then fought together. Fists and feet are always at a disadvantage against weapons. Although Xingyi Iquan is profound, the Special Forces beast can only learn its form, but its ability is limited. After fighting with Zhao Zhu for a few moves, he was in danger and the situation was very unfavorable. Xiaoming did not download the use of weapons, and could not see what swordsmanship Zhao Zhu used. He only felt that the sword shadows were ethereal, with many false moves, and it seemed that there was no power. But the special forces who fought against him had a very difficult time dealing with it. It can be seen that the swordsmanship is also extraordinary. Seeing that he was about to lose, the Bagwazang special forces came forward to help, and the 2-on-1 finally pulled back a little. Zhao Zhu's combat effectiveness is obviously above Morpheus. The two special forces are still at a disadvantage. Even after the Mantis Fist special forces left the field, 3 against 1 was just a draw. Xiaoming stopped there and did not plan to send more special forces. There is no need to force the opponent to the bottom line. By comparing the observation of Zhu's life energy, even when he was fighting 1 against 3, his emotions did not fluctuate much. This guy is really unfathomable. What Xiaoming didn't know was that Zhao Zhu felt the same way about him. A sword-light-cold Zhao Zhu asked himself, after practicing swordsmanship for N years, there were many people who had fought. Like the leader, it was rare. He didn't go out at all, but only sent out a few dummies formed by a breath to fight with himself. What realm would he be in? In memory, only when meeting some great-grandfathers of the generation of masters, people would use this method to test themselves. The skills of these dummies who fought with me were really not good, and I didn't try my best to use tricks. However, at the level of the generation of great-grandfathers, moves and so on didn't make much sense. After all, this poor child is a rookie, he has seen too little of the world, and his imagination is too strong. He fooled himself. Xiaoming's mind beast is completely different from his great-grandfather's. His great-grandfather could release hundreds of similar mind beasts with just a sneeze. Xiaoming released 6 at most, and any more would just be for show. Zhao Zhuzhu could still deal with 6 special forces with some effort. It was just that Xiaoming's very unique fighting style made Zhao Zhuzhu feel familiar, so his momentum was weakened by half. Xiaoming also inexplicably pretended to be powerful. He left Zhao Zhuzhu with a deep impression of a hermit. Although Zhao Zhuzhu soon realized his misunderstanding, the initial impression had been formed. And Xiaoming often had unexpected skills, so Zhao Zhuzhu always regarded Xiaoming as a hermit. Xiaoming was very happy to have 2 masters in the team. The safety of brother Wen and his sister was more guaranteed. It stands to reason that he should also give some gifts. But the 2 people in front of him are both local tyrants, and he doesn't seem to have anything decent to offer. Hey, suddenly an idea came to his mind. Xiaoming took out 6 silver energy blocks and gave them to the 2 new team members respectively. Even Kraken was stunned. Kraken, who was driving a mecha, was more inclined to the technology side. He had only heard of this kind of high purity and high quality energy block, but had never seen it with his own eyes. The leader actually took out 3 blocks as a gift. This is called inhumanity. These 3 energy blocks alone are equivalent to Kraken's current wealth. He accepted the energy blocks without hesitation and comforted his inner trauma. Zhao Zhuzhu didn't know the value of the energy block, but he liked the crystal and pure silver color very much, so he accepted it with joy. Chinese people always talk about interpersonal relationships and reciprocity. As expected, the relationship between the 3 people became closer after exchanging gifts. Zhao Zhuzhu immediately took out an invitation letter from a random world and was about to team up again to go on an adventure. Brother, you should take it easy. Xiaoming hurriedly stopped him. I have some things to deal with when I go back. Seeing Zhao Zhuzhu's disappointed look, Xiaoming had to add 2 words, really? Feeling that the leader's words were very sincere, Zhao Zhuzhu was a little disappointed, but that was it. Xiaoming simply told the 2 about the situation of the other 2 members of the team, bought all the items in the raiding mall, and hurriedly left the reincarnation space. Of course, it doesn't matter if you don't say it. They can also find it in the team space themselves. Xiaoming really has something to do. Guangmingding stores a very rich spiritual energy. Xiaoming wants his sister and brother Wen to practice in this environment as soon as possible. So as soon as Xiaoming returned to Pangustar, he sent messages to Xiaojing and Zhang Wen in the game. They both had things to do in the game, but the message Xiaoming sent them was too tempting. They couldn't help but be tempted.